back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. I'm doing me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers. I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. Way to work naked like a skinny dipping, no crosses, we just for this crucifixion. Fold out, couple screws missing. Paranoid, leaving superstition. No paper in the river fishing. Niggas stole word, niggas kissing. Without a diamond, still shine kissing. Sell it around so everybody hit it. Holding strong, trying to coalition. Mathematics, simple addition. Bad luck like a bad shit. One of the few, still a better street, no matter what. Never act different, no GPS. Money back tripping. Money cup, guess I'm back sipping. Like that's the kid, I guess I'm back to hey, yo, keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers. I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me.
I was riding the tours during the rain. Got another little bun, then another day. Go by the exchange, pop running day. Back down with the boots, had a Timberlake. Year week at the rally, used to run it up. Ball running up, watch the running up. I'm a star cloud now, I'm a astronaut. Roll running, show money, get the shit straight. Play brother, finna kill, have money way. Riding 100 days, now press 100 days. I would count money way back at home day. Stepping money way, boy, money one train. HD lifestyle, let me home day. 400 up, rock home 100 up. Then legal, I carry 34 days.
Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers. I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers. I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me.
State gang, the mob, true sippers, we in too deep. MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy trade. MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy trade. MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy, MoneyBoy trade. Stay with a bag, I'm cashing them check. 100 round shooters on hit. Little nigga talking, but they not a threat. BB is diamonds and bands on my neck. Jacking my spread. 4 before, pop me a hit. I'm saucing, I'm dripping, I'm wet. I'm trending, I'm wicked, I'm fire, I'm hit. Stay with the bag, I'm cashing them check. 100 round shooters on hit. Little nigga talking, but they not a threat. BB is diamonds and bands on my neck. Jacking my spread. 4 before, pop me a hit. I'm saucing, I'm dripping, I'm wet. I'm trending, I'm wicked, I'm fire, I'm hit. It's a go 10 and 4, it's a bed. On the ground, about to cook me a jet. Niggas mad when I stun and I flip. With precision, I'm gripping the jet. Burn a brain while I'm gripping the net. No dealings, I just want some shit. I'm a dog, it's a shame on my mess. Go hard and shout out to my ex. Play if I move it on to the net. I done Brooklyn, post out with the net. I'm shining, I'm bliss. Like a beacon that runs with a friend. VIP talking shit with some jet. Take it simple with Yankees and Mets. High fiving with guys in it. Don't ego, my life is the shit. Stay with a bag, I'm cashing them check. 100 round shooters on hit. Little nigga talking, but they not a threat. VVS diamonds and bands on my head. Jacking my spread. 4 before, pop me a hit. I'm saucing, I'm dripping, I'm wet. I'm trending, I'm wicked, I'm fire, I'm hit. Stay with a bag, I'm cashing them check. 100 round shooters on hit. Little nigga talking, but they not a threat. VVS diamonds and bands on my head. Jacking my spread. 4 before, pop me a hit. I'm saucing, I'm dripping, I'm wet. I'm trending, I'm wicked, I'm fire, I'm hit. I get it, I'm gon' pull off in a hurry. Grocery through truck, I said in to my stripping. No time to kick it, I'm busy, I'm working. I just suspended, I'm still out here serving. 30s and green, pinch out the rain. Pulling the frame, form machine. Infrared beam, carbon 15. MoneyBoy train, that with no wing. My bottoms is red, Robert's is green. Go to my body, I feel like a dream. Go to one cynical, stop watching clean. Free rich and water, but up for the team. Fuck your opinion, that's all that I strain. I was 14 when I had a dream. Dollar sign, go for the green. Pop me a bean. Swaggin', I'm fresh and I'm clean. Feeling like Jordan, I'm wearing Supreme. Rolling up, smoking Supreme. Infrared beam. Carbon 15. Precise like a surgeon, I won't miss a thing. 24/7, I'm flat with no wings. Bitch.
My music still. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Let's get into some news stories right quick. We'll be here about an hour. But these are some interesting stories that I saw, and I was like, what the hell? One of them that I saw that I didn't do because it's mostly video. It's a 10-year-old that stole his mama car somewhere in the Michigan area and took the police on a high, slow speed chase. That was funny. The first one we're getting into is the Maryland mother-daughter charged in. Let me read this damn title. I don't believe this shit. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm not looking at the chat, but hello to everyone coming in. The title of this: Maryland mother-daughter charged in horrifying mother of grandmother. They barbecued the woman. Never mind. I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
And I want to put a tweet from our Fox 5 team as the Maryland mother and daughter have been charged in the murder of 71-year-old grandmother. Police say they found human remains in a trash bags in the basement and a chainsaw. They both appeared in a Prince George's County courtroom this afternoon at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Of course, following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox, as authorities say mother and her daughter have been charged in connection with murdering the family's grandmother. Police have charged 44-year-old Candace Craig with first and second degree murder. Her 19-year-old daughter is also charged with accessory after the fact. Let's take you out to some remarks here, live, raw, and unfiltered on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, what can you say as far as what happened at the hearing today? No bond status. I missed part of it. Was it said that all of the victim and the two defendants lived all together?
So the victim and we believe that the victim and the two defendants were all connected to the house in some way. Obviously, they were all related. And today, the two defendants were held without bond in this case.
And do we know how she actually died at this point?
At this point, that is still under investigation. The ME is involved.
Why she died? Well, they don't know if she died with the chainsaw initially. Okay, but I'm thinking they probably just chased her with the chainsaw.
And hopefully we'll have a cause of death shortly.
Is that something that can be determined with the body that mutilated?
With the extent of the injuries, with the dismemberment, it is going to be very difficult. I think that the ME's office will do their best to give us a cause and manner of death. But in this case, which is unlike any case I have ever seen or experienced here in the county. Say it's disturbing is an understatement.
By the way, the two women are black.
Horrifying. The allegations contained in the statement of charges is just heartbreaking. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that this is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. And it's important, I think, to note in this case that someone related to our victim was concerned enough about her whereabouts that they reached out to do a welfare check. And the Prince George's County Police Department is a wonderful resource, as well as all of our municipal departments. They do these welfare checks. because of someone caring enough to reach out, because our department was doing its job, we uncovered a horrific crime. And so our job now is to ensure that our victim gets justice, and that is what we're going to do. Jess Garth, who's the chief of our Special Victims and Family Violence Unit, I'm going to ask her to come up and talk a little bit about, some of the facts as we provided in court today for those of you who weren't there. So, Jess.
Good afternoon. As the state's attorney said, somebody did come forward and contacted the police department and asked the police to do a welfare check. At the time that the officer arrived at the home, they were allowed to enter the home by one of the residents. In the basement, they uncovered the putrefying remains of the decedent in this case. They locked down the scene, they went and got a search warrant. And what they uncovered was, as the state's attorney said, one of the most disturbing crimes I think that this county has seen, at least, in recent times. It looks like there was some sort of a disagreement between Ms. Craig and her mother, the decedent. Sounds like at that time she opted to take the life of her mother. And then after that, she and her daughter dismembered the body, I believe using a chainsaw, and then attempted to dispose of the parts of the body using fire on a grill and in a bonfire, according to the investigation so far.
Did you hear that?
Using a chainsaw, and then attempted to...
So, wait a minute. So they had a bonfire in the basement, but they said they found putrefied, which means this shit was stinking as hell, in the basement. But they had a bonfire, so what the fuck? Did they leave something in there that still stank? Agreed, man.
Dispose, she opted to take the life of her mother. And then after that, she and her...
B. Nicole, you gotta go check on Tony. He ain't say nothing during the live all last night. We need a welfare check. Check on Tony.
Daughter dismembered the body, I believe using a chainsaw, and then attempted to dispose of the parts of the body using fire on a grill and in a bonfire, according to the investigation so far. This is a case that's still under investigation. We do anticipate that we'll have additional facts that we develop along the way. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. Unfortunately, so.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate stuff. And up there, you kind of talk about how this is one of the worst that you've ever seen.
Yes.
Add a little more context out here.
Sure. Well, I talk a lot about domestic violence, and often it's in the context of intimate partner violence, but family about this case, I think about how hard it is to actually dismember a human body. I mean, some people have difficulty, even cooking food, with things like raw chicken. And when you're thinking about a body and then burning it, it just, it's very hard for me to think about, especially when you're talking about somebody who gave birth to you, who raised you. So, yeah.
It's safe to say you may never know how exactly.
As the state's attorney said, our medical examiner's office.
What's this? This a news story you want me to do, B? Is this a news story?
Is going to do everything that they can do.
I can't open it right now.
It is possible that some of the evidence was destroyed, that we may need to determine the exact, way that she was taken from us. But I think it's safe to say that this case
is this the Jackie O story? I think they said too.
That was on the floor and then was missing.
If that's about Jackie,
I don't have any particular details. I do know
because I think it said that women are dying. Like it's literally been happening at least since Kanye West's mother. We just say her. She started the famous women that's old and mothers trying to look young and dying. Why? Aging is part of the life process. Y'all the mamas. Ain't nobody judging y'all. What is it worth dying? Then you leave kids behind trying to look fine so that you get fucked again. I just don't get it. Don't get me started.
Search warrant was executed. They collected many different tools, and they'll be tested for DNA and for.
It's a content CC that says she's feeling. Wow, bitches are evil. Oh, I heard about that. I heard Azealia Banks, and I heard that B. Simone got backlash for trying to capitalize off of it too. She's competing. Yeah, I know they're competing. I'm saying it's sad though, because it's a lot of women that are doing it. Like these motherfuckers is going to get surgery like 7-8 weeks after they had birth. Their babies ain't even 2 months old and they going to get their shit snatched so they could be back on the market fucking.
As well.
And we heard from Justin Ford, from United States Attorney. Is this the most gruesome murder that you've seen in your time?
I mean, absolutely. On so many different levels. The fact that this was a mother, there's.
Which one is the mother and the daughter, y'all? I don't know.
Case where a mother was killed by a daughter. And I certainly don't believe I've ever seen a case where a mother was not only killed by her daughter, but dismembered by her daughter and her granddaughter. So just the thought of people who are in your lineage, people who are supposed to be carrying on your legacy, being a part of your demise is almost unbelievable. And then not only the death, but the dismemberment of the body being found in multiple bags.
I guess it's so shocking because it's two women that carried out this damn crime. You don't think of women chopping niggas up. That's some shit the mob do.
In a home.
Miss Lynn, that's your answer for everything. You said to about Alabama. You said, ooh, there's some hard living going on down there in Alabama. There's some hard living going on in Maryland too, I guess.
So, can I just ask were these like trash bags, gym bags, like?
The information I have is that they were plastic bags, but I don't know the size at this time.
Some sort of trash bag type of thing.
I would imagine.
And was this home the grandmother's home?
Yes.
And they killed in her house.
That's dig on it a little more.
Yeah, sure.
That he was on probation, potentially at the time of the alleged attack on the bus. It was singing the district. Not registered in any school anywhere. It's also been determined.
Damn, so the daughter is a minor?
The child was on probation.
She ain't even in school. Been on probation.
She was having in school and living life.
Because
failure with events.
You can ask that question.
She got frustrated by that question.
Living life.
Because
failure with events.
She said, was there a failure with DCS or DJS or something? She laughed. Oh, there go that question. I'm asking a legitimate question. You're saying that the girl is on fucking probation and she wasn't registered in anybody's schools, and he's like, how was that able to happen? Like, if she on probation, don't she gotta check in with the probation officer? Shouldn't somebody have been contacted that she was truant or had dropped out of school or something? Just nothing. That's just a legitimate question.
That question. I think it's fair to say I've had a number of conversations with DJS, and as late as Friday, I've been in contact with the.
Thank you for the $5 cash out.
You better run them donations, baby. Run them donations, baby. Run them donations, baby.
Juvenile services. I think that DJS is, in many cases, overwhelmed, just like other agencies, especially public safety agencies. But we all have to do better because our young people have to be in school. Those who are on probation actually have to be supervised. And if they are supposed to be participating in programs, then they have to be accountable for participating in those programs. I think that there's a lot of work to be done at DJS. I think and I've spoken to the governor personally about it, and he's committed to looking at resources that we need to add.
I'm not surprised, lovely Cherokee. I know what you beasts are capable of. I know.
To our Department of Juvenile Services to ensure that the services that they do provide are actually meaningful to the people who they serve. A lot of the services are really controlled at the state level, but those of us on the ground know what our kids need, and if we could get more of those resources locally, I think we can make a better impact and have programs that will better meet the needs of our young people. But we have to hold them accountable. Oftentimes, what I hear is that DJS has done all that they could do for a child. Whether or not that child is successful in completing the program offered by DJS, then they will just discharge them, partially because of the new laws and the limitations on the amount of time that a child can be under the supervision of the Department of Juvenile Services. So I think in many ways, everyone has, I don't want to say failed, but everyone.
We're going to Travis Randolph. Travis Randolph speak after being found not guilty after shooting at a nigga 39 times. I want to hear what he had to say, because I thought he was going to go down. I just honestly did.
Good afternoon, I'm Jay Travis. We interrupt programming to bring you breaking news out of West Palm Beach. A verdict has been reached in the murder trial of former NFL player Travis Rudolph. Let's listen in.
Any questions? Feel free to ask them.
Travis, what does this verdict mean to you?
It means everything, man. I finally got my freedom back. I can get back to my life, man. I just want to thank the jurors, thank the court, thank everyone that was involved in this, man, because it means a lot for the support with everyone.
What do you think of the fact that they came back with a verdict in just 3 or 4 hours?
I mean, I just felt like it was right. You know what I'm saying? I knew all along, you know what I'm saying, that I did what I had to do to just protect me and my brother's life. So.
Also, before I interrupt you, I just want to tell you it's been a team effort with Ms. Perlette, who couldn't be here today. And also, this is Ralph Morrison. He's a private investigator, former law enforcement officer and Marine. And Ralph is behind the scenes in many cases. And without him, we couldn't have done this.
This has been a momentous day for you. What's next for you in your life, Travis?
What's next? I'm definitely going to celebrate with my family, get back to trying to play football and everything. And just a walking testament.
Sir, they're not finna give you a job in the NFL. Cut it.
Funny that, without these two guys, Heidi, my team, my foundation, I wouldn't be here today. Just stay strong.
Smiling big right now that you're officially acquitted. Can you walk us through what the past 2 years were like, knowing that you didn't do anything wrong?
Oh, man, it's just a lot of tears to shed, man. Overwhelming tears, you know what I'm saying? Long nights, sleepless nights, everything. So that's what the last 2 years have done for me.
Well, Miss Liz, you don't know they crazy until you didn't hit them with your tallywhacker a couple times. You don't know. And then sometimes by then you're in too deep.
I feel like you want to pursue against any of the other players that played and what happened to you years ago.
Well, I'm not going to let Travis answer that at this point. He's just going to enjoy his freedom now, and we'll look at all options later on.
What does this mean for your football career? What are your plans there?
I'm gonna reach out to my agent, and God's willing, I'll still be able to play football. So definitely plan on getting back to football.
CFL or NFL?
Yeah, anyone, just an opportunity. I love the game, so.
You're not out of
your prime. He did right.
No, I'm just actually reaching my prime.
Were you nervous when we didn't know what was going to happen here? I know you and your family were out in the hallway praying. Can you tell us why that was an important thing for you?
Of course. I mean, it's just the fact of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, your life is in 12 jurors' hands. That's a scary feeling. So definitely was nervous. And, we definitely pray a lot. We have unwavering faith. So that's what the prayer is about.
Travis had faith from day one. He never, even the day he was arrested, he told me how innocent he was and how he didn't do anything on purpose. And he's never varied from his story. He's the first client.
That's it. Who testimony, Liz? What you talking about? You're on a different story. I'm on Travis Ruda. I ain't know about no female in that one. But no, I ain't seen no testimony.
35 years who had the exact same version from day one till he testified. And he's been totally confident, more than any of us actually, that the truth was going to come out, and his belief in God helped him get through this.
You have your mom, your brother. So many of your loved ones are out here. Tell us about their support right now and how you feel.
It's a lot of support, man. I love my mom.
I didn't initially have this one planned, but the title looks good. Baltimore mother sparks debate over accountability when a child is accused, and it's I don't know what that means. We're gonna find out. Is accused of a crime. Okay, let's see what debate was sparked over accountability when a child is accused.
Weekend of a youth curfew is up.
Right. Thank you for the $10 cash app.
You better run them donations, baby. Run them donations, baby. Run them donations, baby.
Apparently they cutting up in Maryland because them other two women is from Maryland that killed their grandma.
Underway right now in Baltimore as juvenile crime concerns continue to circulate across the city. Fox 45's Keith Daniels looks into a mother's concerns after her son was shot by police. But we begin with Jeff Abel and the efforts to staff connection centers designed to keep Baltimore's children away from trouble. Jeff, what can you tell us?
Well, curfew enforcement efforts are back on here in Fells Point tonight and in other areas of downtown here. And while police have long maintained it will be relieving the burden on city police tell us tonight a whole different story.
So what? So, Miss Liz, so you saying Travis' ex-girlfriend had something to do with the niggas pulling up? She should have got shot too.
This is not anything new. We're evolving the way that we enforce youth curfew.
It was last Friday.
The two women that were in the photo, they killed one killed her mom and the other helped kill her grandmother, and they chopped her up with a chainsaw and barbecued her. Tried to cremate the remains, and you had to have a really, 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 really hot fire to cremate bones. It's your average backyard fire ain't gonna get it.
The first day of the city's new curfew enforcement effort, when the mayor vowed to put concerns to rest over the toll curfew enforcement will have on police.
I will be reaching out directly to the union and explaining and talking to them how about this is not the case. Again, we want to relieve them of something that has been their sole duty.
But the very next day, the president of the police union says the city canceled off days for 20 to 30 members of the police force, posting them downtown as backup for the curfew enforcement efforts. In a statement, the president of the union writes, the completed ranks of the BPD are already...
Yeah, that was clickbait. This is what B. Nicole sent. Let's see here. Yeah, I heard that she said something about Azealia Banks said something like she died on her 32nd birthday, some shit.
Had some very sick and twisted things to say about the passing of Jackie O. And I will get into what Azealia said later on in this video, but for those who aren't aware, Jackie O, who is the girlfriend of the comedian DC Young Fly, passed away a few days ago, and some people believe that she passed away from complications from her surgery. Prior to her passing, Jackie did make a post saying that she was getting a mommy makeover and she was going to document it on YouTube. And she went to this surgeon in Miami by the name of Dr. Zach. His full name is Zachary Oka. And this guy has had a lot of complaints over the years. He has been accused of botching people's surgery, and he has had some negative reviews, but he would try to silence people by suing them. So he's very sketchy, and I do think he can be looking at negligence and malpractice for probably prematurely discharging Jackie after the surgery. Now, Jackie was found unresponsive in her hotel room after the surgery, and it's unfortunate that she didn't have more time to recuperate in the hospital because during post-operative care, complications can arise. I mean, the patient can lose blood. They could go into cardiac arrest. They could have an allergic reaction. They could have a blockage to the heart. There's so many different complications that could have happened. And if there was some medical personnel there to monitor her, she probably would be here with us today. But rest in peace to Jackie O. When I heard this story, I was very saddened because she has 3 young children, y'all. 3 young children now have to grow up without their mother. And it's so...
And it's because she chose to go under the knife for what? I still want to know why. And is looking good worth dying? That's the question the women have to ask. Is looking good after having a baby worth dying for?
Creepy, because Jackie O herself grew up without her mother. In fact, she did reveal that she was raised by a single father. So the fact that her children have to suffer the same fate is really just unfortunate, and I hate to see it happen to them. Also, I feel bad for Jackie's partner, DC Young Fly. Jackie and DC Young Fly met years ago on the set of Wildin' Out in 2015, and since then they have been inseparable. They built a family together and kind of turned it into a brand. Jackie O has branched out from being a model on Wildin' Out to being a social media influencer and having her own cosmetic line, the J Nova collection, and she also became a realtor. So she has done a lot. But mostly she's known for being a family person and being a loving mother, a loving partner, and a good friend.
I'm an observer of people, and I watch how you go hard for everybody. All the time. Fly across the country.
Boring. I'm sorry, you know, I get bored quick. Wait a minute. This is interesting. This has something to do with all the trans sports and all of that. Apparently, there's this, I don't know none of these people, but
I've read of them.
They're good. It's this chick named Sam Ponder. Don't know who she is. Sage Steele. She's an ESPN analyst that's fiery. And then there's this, I don't know who Nancy Armour is, but the name of this video is ESPN broadcaster ripped by US Today, Sam Ponder. Trans sports bandstands called out by Nancy Armour. So it's the whole.
Talk about something right now. Some friendly fire in the sports media community right now. Well, we got Sam Ponder and her support for fairness in women's sports being called plain old bigotry. All right, get the story out there. So we know who Sam Ponder is, and she came under fire as her support for keeping women's sports fair and equal was the subject of an opinion column from USA Today's Nancy Armour. Oh, I've read a lot of her articles. This is going to be interesting. Ponder and fellow ESPN colleagues say still, we know where we're going. If they bring Sage into it, you know you about to get the red pill, as they say in the Matrix, have voiced their support for Riley Gaines, who has taken the reins to lead the.
Yes, I agree. I don't. It's almost like she had an issue with that woman, or she was fucking DC Fly on the low. Which gets me into another story. Miss Liz, I know you want to hear this Zion Williamson story. We're gonna talk about that too.
Calls for transgender athletes to participate in sports against the gender they were born as instead of the gender they identify as. Y'all caught that? The way you were born is how you participate, not the way you identify. Well, I'm born and raised, and I'm born and raised, and I'm born and raised in
I didn't know implants had an expiration date. See, this is really weird. So you mean to tell me if you go get some fake titties, there's an expiration date on them where you got to go get them redone? Jeez.
Right?
So it's like changing your oil in your car. All right, then.
Let's take that same mindset, that same tone. Born and raised, born and played. I was born a man, I played against men, all right?
How he embarrassed her? How did he embarrass her, E. Brooks? Yes, they expire. I never knew this. Wow.
Right? So let's take that same mindset, that same tone. Born and raised.
So like, how many miles do you get on some implants? Like, what's the mileage? Like 40,000, 100,000, 10 years?
Born and played. I was born a man, I played against men, all right? So I understand where she's coming from with this one. All right. Gaines.
Was that not part of the skit, though? Like, were they roasting it in the skit? Come on, G.
Been at the forefront since she tied with Leah Thomas in the NCAA championship in 2022. You guys know that story. So Ponder spoke about the issue again after Gaines tweeted the messages.
What size are they, E. Brooks? They real? What size are they?
She received about transgender high school runners participating in the girls' division in California. Quote, I barely said anything publicly about this issue, and I've had so many people message me.
Just do squats, Miss Liz. Squats to do all the lifting you need.
Stop me in the street to say thank you. Plus, tell me stories about girls who are afraid to speak up for fear of lost employment, being called hateful. It is not hateful to demand fairness in sports for girls. That's what Ponder tweeted. However, Armor called.
What you mean? Stop silly. She the one that said her titties was natural. I just want to know what size they was. Jeez.
Ponder's words, plain old bigotry. In her column, quote, don't be.
Now, Silas, I have not gotten in any trouble. People have talked, but I ain't got in no goddamn trouble. I ain't went to jail. My mama ain't spanked me. What the hell trouble? I don't give a fuck about them people talking shit. Here's what it is.
Fooled by the people who screech about fairness to cloak their bigotry toward transgender girls and women. The transgender girls and women who have the audacity to want to play sports.
Men don't give a fuck about that surgery. If y'all come back with it, cool. But man, like, this ain't the era where men is like, hey, go get your titties bigger. That's shit women do. I keep pointing out a lot of the shit that these women do, like the eyelashes and the long ass weaves and the long ass nails and shit, we don't like. We'll tell y'all we don't like it and y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all just wear what y'all want to anyway. It's y'all right though. But we don't care. I've never pushed a woman to get cosmetic surgery. I don't know nobody that has. It's just me. Truth.
Huh?
Good morning.
Good morning. I overslept very, very much.
Oh, it happens. I was like that too. And then I saw baby, that girl there, she woke up at 6. She went to sleep sometime after I gave her 9 o'clock medicine, and she knocked back out now. I give her about another 45 minutes.
I don't never sleep. I mean,
we ended the live at 1.
Yeah.
Damn near 2. It's just 10, so it's just 11. So if you ain't go to sleep till about 4 or 5, it makes sense because I didn't go straight to sleep. It's about 4:30 when I passed out.
Anywho, what we got going on? What you talking about? I heard you talking about weaves and nails and shit.
Well, we started off with the 2 women that killed Granny in barbecue. They chopped up and barbecued her. Then we
Good morning, y'all. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. So you
Travis
started
Rudolph
off with
getting
that
off. Yeah, I started off with that one.
Dang.
And then we went to we touched on the Azealia Banks talking about Jackie O, and they in the chat talking about that right now. And then we went to Travis Rudolph, excited he got off, and then now we on this this transgender. Let me start back over. Trans sports stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
Right. Now, some friendly fire in the sports media community.
We're still having a discussion about that, about the whole the women dying over cosmetic surgery. Not women, mothers are dying over it. Because a lot of these women that are going to get these surgeries, they have young kids. They just gave birth and they're going under the knife and dying. Is it worth it? Is big titties and a BBL worth dying? What do you think?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sorry. And it's starting to happen so frequent. I don't even see how women are having the courage to do it. I know. That'd
be the first thing to pop up in my mind. Now, did she die? Like, was she in the United States, or did she go somewhere like the DR?
I think she was in Miami. I think she was in Miami.
So she did stay stateside, because typically that's where all the shit's been going wrong, in the DR and other places where they do it for cheap. They aren't researching their doctors either. Yep, she was in Miami, so I can't even blame her being out the country. Did they say what went wrong?
Oh, I think I read something. No, I ain't gonna say because I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure if what I read was her or somebody else I was reading about. So let me check it out right quick.
That story 11 minutes long, Scorpio. You got to send me a shorter one that gets straight to the point. That the lady was giving a whole bunch of her commentary instead of just the straight up what happened.
Right now. Well, we got Sam Ponder and her support for fairness and women's sports being called plain old bigotry. All right, get the story out there. So we know who Sam Ponder is, and she came under fire as her support for keeping women's sports fair and equal was the subject of an opinion column from USA Today.
She did her aftercare in a hotel, and that's a lot. That happens a lot in the DR too. They say it'd be a whole bunch of women crammed into, I forget what they call it, the recovery house, and they taking care of each other, not a professional. I've heard those stories too.
Nancy Armour. Oh, I've read a lot of her articles.
If she had money, why the fuck was she taking the cheap way out? That's the cheap way to not have doctor care around you. You got money.
Be interesting. Ponder and fellow ESPN colleagues say still, we know where we're going. If they bring Sage into it, you know you about to get the red pill, as they say in the Matrix, have voiced their support for Riley Gaines, who has taken the reins to lead the cause for transgender athletes to participate in sports against the gender they were born as instead of the gender they identify as. Y'all caught that? The way you were born is how you participate, not the way you identify. What?
Women, stop letting these motherfuckers call y'all cisgender. What the fuck? That's almost disrespectful. They trying to replace woman with something else. Stop. Y'all are the only ones that control the power to stop this shit. Like, we're women. We've always been women. I'm not changing my name. Y'all are not going to label us as cis, whatever the fuck that means. This shit is getting weird.
I'm born and raised, and I'm born and raised, and I'm born and raised in Compton, right? So let's take that same mindset, that same tone. Born and raised, born and played. I was born a man, I played against men, all right? So I understand where she's coming from with this one. All right. Gaines has been at the forefront since she tied with Leah Thomas in the NCAA championship in 2022. You guys know that story. So Ponder spoke about the issue again after Gaines tweeted the messages she received about transgender high school runners participating in the girls' division in California. Quote, I barely said anything publicly about this issue, and I've had so many people message me, stop me in the street to say thank you, plus tell me stories about girls who are afraid to speak up for fear of lost employment, being called hateful. It is not hateful to demand fairness in sports for girls. That's what Ponder tweeted. However, Armour called Ponder's words plain old bigotry in her column. Quote, don't be fooled by the people who screech about fairness to cloak their bigotry toward transgender girls and women. The transgender girls and women who have the audacity to want to play sports in particular. This is and always was about hate, fear.
Nancy, you're a dumbass. It's unfair. It's men pretending to be women and whooping their asses in sports that they couldn't win against other men. It's cheating. They ain't good enough to compete against the men, so they pretend to be a woman and they kick the women's ass and they feel good about that? What the fuck?
And ignorance. All right. I disagree with that right now. I think even those hyperbolic terms right there are ignorant, but we'll discuss that right now. Armour particularly took issue with Ponder choosing to speak out about this issue rather than talk about how girls and women's sports don't have equitable funding with boys and men.
And that's the next story we're going to get into. We're going to talk about this women's national soccer team and their fight for equal pay. And then we're going to look at the results when they played men.
And y'all see what she's doing right now? She's saying, why are you talking about this issue right here, talking about fairness and equality? We have another fairness and equality issue over here you're not talking about. Well, maybe Sam is not talking about that because they are not apples to apples. They're apples to oranges. Both fruit, but different. So here's the quote. Did Ponder use her platform to express outrage at any of this? She's over there talking about the equitable funding with boys and men. Urged her nearly 500,000 followers on Twitter to write a call to representatives and ask that women be given the funding and opportunities they rightfully deserve. Did she publicly participate in any of the many excellent documentaries, videos, and commentary ESPN did to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Title IX last year, or even tweet about them? Oh, no, she did not. Her public concern about fairness for female athletes starts and stops with the minuscule number of transgender women who are participating in sports. Wow, she went there. Now you can tell she's a journalist. Hey, look, when somebody's right, somebody's right, somebody's wrong. I think she's wrong, but damn it, she knows how to write. Did y'all catch that? Okay, so Armour accused Ponder of putting transgender people in further danger with her tweets by further amplifying the boogeyman that cisgender women's participation in sports is being threatened.
I hate that term, women.
By transgender girls and young women. Armour concluded that Ponder's opinions have nothing to do with fairness. All right. So Sam Ponder hasn't defended herself yet, but I'll take the duty for her right now. Unfair to come at Sam Ponder when she's coming at the whole situation and trying to find a fair and equitable response. Let's remind everyone what my stance is on this issue. The way you were born is the way that you're going to participate. Socially, you are able to identify any way you want to. It is your right, and it is a human rights conversation to talk about transgender socially. But when we start talking about participation in sports, it's not based on that. You got to know that it's going to be based off the birth, and it has to be based off your cisgender status. Natural men participate against natural men for one reason. There's a different physical ceiling for men and women that has been biologically proven. So when is this going to be a fair and balanced discussion, not poisoned with fear factor? Because anytime you speak sensibly about this or respectfully about this, but you oppose what others think, they throw that fear factor at you to silence you, to scare you, and all those fear tactics. So that's not fair. And you know what's interesting about this conversation? Why don't we have a balanced and fair discussion? Why are we having this conversation about transgender men competing against men? Because they're not taking advantage of men. A transgender man is now being looked at as that's not your advantage, because you're going against men with a higher physical ceiling, right? So let's just remove the fear tactics, the name calling, and just have a real sensible discussion on this. If you don't want to create another category, like men have a category, women have a category, Special Olympians have a category, transgenders have a category, then we're going to have to make sure that we're being sensible and logical in this conversation. I just know being...
Okay. She told me where Scorpio gave me the time step, you know. Go back to this Jackie O thing.
Passing, she directly addressed the DC Young Fly and said, "Dang, DC Young Fly spent years disguising his own deeply rooted hatred of self as jokes pointed at woman's beauty, projecting his own feelings about his own ugliness onto women perfectly secure in their own skin. Say what you want about my tears. They were pure tears of rage and not at all a sign of weakness." Oh, really? Because in the end, I won. I'm happy I cried and moved on. That Jackie O girl must have been so deeply insecure about herself. And the nerve of DC to call such a gorgeous woman as Azealia Banks ugly on national television while a bunch of Black people laughed. And ironically, dead at 32, exactly on my 32nd birthday, May 31st, 2023, in Miami, Florida.
Why we gonna act like Wildin' Out wasn't a show where everybody talked about each other? The women made jokes about men too. I'm sure some men were called ugly on the show.
And
he did it in front of a national audience. The fuck did she do back? Like, y'all gotta stop this.
To learn to stop effing with me. So she's actually implying that she put a spell on DC Young Fly's family. That's what she's implying. And she also said this: "I don't think anyone gets how much the..."
Is she still mad about what happened to her on Wildin' Out all them years ago? Or am I thinking about Iggy Azealia? I might have them mixed up. One of them, Azealia or Iggy, one of them was salty about what happened on their Wild 'N Out show a whole bunch of years ago.
So she's saying this about the young lady that just passed?
Yeah, let me skip it back. Yes, she did.
My goodness.
And that's why she been getting roasted.
Wow.
Let's see, 6 minutes.
And she deals with a lot of hurt. Weak Azealia is because she could dish it, but she can't take it. A lot of times the most hateful and mean-spirited people are the most sensitive. And I do think Azealia is very broken and she deals with a lot of hurt and pain and she projects all of that out on other people. Now, this is what she said in regards to Jackie O's passing. She directly addressed DC Young Fly and said, "Dang, DC Young Fly spent years disguising his own deeply rooted hatred of self as jokes pointed at women."
You know what DC Young Fly hasn't done? He ain't went and got no damn cosmetic surgery, so you can't say he hate himself. You can't say he's insecure about his looks and shit because he ain't went and got no damn surgery. The man got a damn Chanel fucking tattoo in the middle of his forehead. He ain't tried to get that shit taken off.
Beauty, projecting his own feelings about his own ugliness onto women perfectly secure in their own skin. Say what you want about my tears. They were pure tears of rage and not at all a sign of weakness. Oh, really? Because in the end, I won. I'm happy I cried and moved on. That Jackie O girl must have been so deeply insecure about herself. And the nerve of DC to call such a gorgeous woman as Azealia Banks ugly on national television while a bunch of black people laughed. And ironically, dead at 30.
So you didn't know what you were going, you didn't know about the show that you signed up to go to. You had no idea that's what they did. You had no idea it was a roast and gag show. They check people. They Jones. They play the dozens. They say your mama jokes. You had no idea they did that. All right, then.
To exactly on my 32nd birthday, May 31st, 2023, in Miami, Florida. You ends are going to learn to stop effing with me. So she's actually implying that she put a spell on DC Young Fly's family. That's what she's implying. And she also said this: "I don't think anyone gets how much the press from that episode derailed the success of Anna Wintour. I came to sing my song and go home, and only at the request of my label. And then the stupid blank queens on stage behind me basically making a mockery of it being a gay song, fake voguing behind me in their do-rags like they aren't all raging homosexuals. That thorn in my side is finally out. No way in hell was I blessed with this many gifts, this much talent and beauty, to be a cultural punching bag for a cast of peons who wouldn't have a pot to piss in if they didn't have the court of social media addicts to."
So it's okay for her to call people names, but a nigga can't call her ugly. Get the fuck out of here. She just called these people peons and said they wouldn't be shit without social media. Well, man, that's like them saying you wouldn't be shit if you couldn't sing with auto-tune. Stop it.
Esther for. I do this in real life. D-lickers, ha ha. This was absolutely vile.
Whatever saying his forehead.
But this is not off-brand for Azealia Banks because Azealia has a very wild mouth. But I will say this: Azealia put a spiritual target on her head. She really did. The fact that she's gloating over the death of the mother of DC Young Fly's children is really sick. It really is. But
that's niggas for you. Okay, where's this other one? Let's get into some juicy shit. I know y'all gonna like this one.
So first she starts out, so it's no secret that the NBA...
This here is about Zion Williamson, and that boy, he been cut up. I wish I had this nigga life.
Overall right now is in a bit of a transitional period. Yes, you have your up-and-coming superstars like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic, but you also have these guys who have been faces of the league for decades like Steph Curry and LeBron James aging out of their prime. So right now it's clear that the NBA is scrambling to find their next LeBron-esque figure to essentially be the face of the league. And a couple of years ago, if you would have asked me who I thought was going to be the face of the league in the future, I really only had one name in mind: a college at Duke or a noise surrounding him in a social media world. Well, now we are obviously years removed from that. And I really bring Zion up today because he has been involved in some massive drama. It all started yesterday when this video was posted about Zion's pregnancy announcement of his new baby mama.
My baby, you're going to see this at some point. I know what the future holds.
Pretty much, he announced he was having a baby, and y'all know what happened next. A groupie came out of nowhere like, nigga, you better hope I ain't pregnant too, because I'm late. And she just started going off. And it doesn't happen to be any old groupie. It's ex-porn star Mariah Mills. Y'all women in her probably don't know who that is. I'm sure every man knows who she is, though, but y'all women probably don't. She fine. I ain't gonna even hold you. I think she's like Japanese and black or some shit like that. She is. She fine.
Oh, Lord.
Mommy and daddy love you.
See if I can find a picture.
Don't know nothing else in this world. Know that mommy and daddy love you.
And so it's like good for him. I believe the dude is already in his like early 20s. Nothing wrong with having a baby at that age. But notice how he said this right here.
I know what the future holds. Mommy and daddy love you.
You see, he's talking about you don't know what the future holds, and the baby mama is looking up at him like,
some point.
What are you talking about, fool?
I know what the future holds. Mommy and daddy love you.
And so people start digging up all this different information about his baby mama. Basically, she's the type of woman that you could see naked online for free, which is kind of just run-of-the-mill activity when it comes to professional athletes these days and the type of women that they tend to choose. Or I guess maybe I should say impregnate. But the real drama wouldn't start until this woman, Mariah Mills, wouldn't start tweeting out all these cryptic messages. Apparently, she is a former corn star turned OF girl. So what I'm saying is this man, Zion, obviously has a type. So first she starts out by just saying the jokes write themselves at this point. Little passive aggressive, that one could really be about anyone. Then here she starts going straight for the jugular. She says, congrats, Zion Williamson, happy for you. And then she shares these Snapchat messages allegedly from Zion where he says, love you in these jeans, and I'm going to FaceTime you in a little bit so we can talk about you moving. And I just got to say it, Zion has never struck me as the smartest guy around. I mean, dude, you're trying to move discreetly, allegedly smashing all these different women at the same time. And yeah, you're off to a good start by using Snapchat, but why just have your full name on there, my guy? This is very reminiscent of when he was playing at Duke and he was hitting up some random white girl from one of the other schools where they were playing on the road, and she exposed this man for basically simping on another level.
Oh, beautiful.
You stay getting caught up.
Why are you so handsome?
What happened?
Trust me, this story is about to get a lot crazier. She says, I hate you on God, Zion Williamson. And like how she hashtags him to get this tweet more attention. Looks like you had a girlfriend and were sleeping with other women behind my back. At Zion Williamson, you liar. And then she shares more messages where he says, bet, I don't have a girlfriend, but if I moved you to New Orleans, would you be cool with like being my official, what does he say, bitch? Just asking so I know how to go about this situation with respect. When you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? So yeah, this man was apparently, allegedly, ready to fund her entire lifestyle, this former corn star. She then goes on to say, better pray I'm not pregnant too, because I'm definitely late. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me you had a random thought pregnant after all I've done for you? I mean, I really want to know what she's done for this man besides drain his sack. She then says, you're putting my life in danger.
No.
That's the woman doing all the tweets that's mad he got somebody pregnant, says she might be pregnant too.
Lord have mercy. Like, okay.
That's why he said he was gonna pay the move. He was like, how much I gotta pay you a month, baby? I will fly you down here and everything.
It's a such thing as going too far. It is a such thing with all this booty and ass jobs of going too far. I'm just saying. She's a beautiful woman. She is. But you don't think that's a little odd looking right there?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't. I'm saying.
I'd still fuck. I would.
I know you would. I absolutely know you would. But I'm just saying, it's like, That's not normal looking to me. Like, I digress. I'm sorry.
That boy, he was ready to spend his whole $220 million check on that pussy. He said, "Come on, baby, I got you. How much?"
No.
He said, "How much?"
And all these new Hunter entire lifestyle. This when you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? So yeah, this man was
said, "But I'm super
apparently, allegedly ready to fund her entire lifestyle. This former corn star. She then goes on to say, "Better pray I'm not pregnant too, because I'm definitely late. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me you had a random thought pregnant after all I've done for you." I mean, I really want to know what she's done for this man besides drain his sack. She then says, "You're putting my life in danger, effing all these new hoes raw."
Man, you a fucking See, this is why women piss me off. This bitch is a porn star. They don't fuck with condoms on porn stars. And she talking about you putting my life in danger. The fuck you been doing, 30? And you still got an OnlyFans when you sleeping with niggas. I'm pushing play.
This is a crazy sentence to come from someone who you can easily do a Google search of and see all kinds of videos of them smashing. She says, "I warned you about trapping type hoes at Zion Williamson, and you didn't listen to me. I know the game."
A porn star warning him about hoes trapping, yet she talking about she might be pregnant because she late. The irony.
One who you can easily do a Google search of and see all kinds of videos of them smashing. She says, "I warned you about trapping type hoes at Zion Williamson, and you didn't listen to me. I know the game. You and congrats again. The bill was too high, so you had to scrap for crumbs when you couldn't see me or I was busy." Oh yeah, he's a 22-year-old NBA player, and you really thought you were going to be the only woman he was messing around with? I mean, what I will say about Zion is, dude, you got to make these types of women sign an NDA before you do anything with them.
Absolutely.
Up on the phone with Derek Jeter, he'll tell you all about his little goodie bags he was giving out. Maybe go for some slightly higher quality women than corn stars. And right on cue, she says, couldn't even impregnate a real corn star, which is not something to be.
How's she gonna say he couldn't even impregnate her? But she said, "You bet." She started off by saying, "You better hope I ain't pregnant because I'm late." But now you couldn't even get a nigga. You couldn't even impregnate me, but you're late. And then you're OnlyFans model, ma'am. So how can he even say that that's his baby any goddamn way? You still do porn.
Busted by. Like anyone who's in a situation where they do impregnate a real corn star should be cast away from their village. She says, "I motivated you to get back in shape," because we all know Zion has a problem with the snacks. He likes to get a little bit overweight. "I let you F me all kinds of ways. Fill me on your phone. And you impregnate a low-budget corn star. DNA tester, I'm done." So she's still giving our guy a chance. "I told you you were going to be the next king next to LeBron. I motivated you. Your baby mama is the reason you gained weight. She's toxic. I hate this for you. That honestly, Zion Williamson, you hurt me with this one. I couldn't sleep last night." I mean, this is seriously just an insane amount of putting your dirty laundry out there for everyone to see and smell. And ooh, it smells like shit. I mean, yeah, she's just out here saying crazy stuff. She let this man spit in
she was like,
her mouth. You let that hoe finesse you is why I'm angry. She's 29 with an adult child already. I'm just like trying to do the math on that. That doesn't make any sense. I know what comes with being a basketball player, girl. I know there will be another woman, but didn't expect you to get these hoes pregnant. So now she's like twisting her story around. Because at first she's like, "Oh, I thought you weren't messing around with any other women." And now she's like, "Listen, I know you had other girls, but why'd you have to get her pregnant? Why'd you have to shoot up the club? Why be a low-budget baby mom when you can be the kept girlfriend?" So now she's like kind of coming to terms with everything. I think they say there's like 3 stages of getting over something. I believe it's like anger, grief, and then acceptance. And she's on to the acceptance stage. "I guess I'm going to be stepmommy now," she says. "You're not effing up me and Zion Williamson's plans, baby, and not. It is what it is." I mean, these types of women are just insane. I mean, clearly she's already the type of person that we know has no shame. And at the end of the day, all these types of women really want is this guy's money. She then sends out one last message to the baby mama and says, "You need a baby to get a bag. I get it just cuz. We know on the same level." I mean, these women are having a serious hoe-off. I mean, all I really have to say about this whole situation is, Zion, my guy, Get your shit together. You should be the face of the NBA right now, and you're just like this.
Oh, that was funny. Okay, this is the main story here. It's about the
not men but boys
of men and women in soccer. Now, according to this story, the U.S. women's soccer team, they played 3 men's teams. They played 3 different games. And in those games, the women lost a total of 24-1. They scored 1 goal in 3 games against men. And yet they say they want equal pay, even though they suck. The ratings aren't the same. They don't make as much money as the men as far as the money that's being brought into the sport, but they want equal pay. And guess what? The soccer team, the people that run soccer, they won a lawsuit. The women sued, they lost, and the governing body of soccer said, you know what, we're still going to give y'all equal pay anyway. And these bitches is still complaining.
Wait a minute. First of all, they don't. Wait a minute. First of all, they don't have to be bitches.
Yes,
Second
they are.
all,
They're a whole bunch of white dykes. They're a whole bunch of white dykes. Ain't no black women on that damn soccer team.
So listen. So they want an equal pay. They wouldn't give it to them. They sued, lost, but they still got their equal pay.
Yeah, because the governing body got tired of them. They got tired of them complaining, so they just said, fuck it. And actually, when they sued, the courts found that y'all are actually getting paid more than the men. That's
really?
Yes, and that's why the lawsuit was thrown out, because they were like, y'all are actually getting paid more than the men already.
Wow.
And y'all aren't bringing in nearly as much money as the men. So this is they're going to go through a graphic right quick. But the first game they played, the men won 5-0.
Transition. Here is the counter again, the step through the shot, another shot, and there it is. Game over, Sayward FC, as Brendan Lambie scores the game winner.
Brendan Lambie's a right-footed player. He's going for that bottom corner, and I think that's more down to being under so much pressure if you're the U.S. women's team. And when this ball ricochet, so unlucky.
The second game, men versus U.S. women. The men won 12-0. 5-0, 12.
There's a turnover. Jarvis, there it is. Game over. 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S. women. And Wrexham just proved to be too tough for this team.
Game 3, 7-1. They finally scored.
You never know what can happen. Harris here with the ball at her feet, and she's pressured, and that'll be it. Como 1907 knew the job they had to do coming in here. But a treat put on for these 2 fan bases, 2 of the best fan bases we've had at this tournament.
24-1 overall. Now they back to talking.
But keep a long story short, they went to court, said they were. Now, for those of you who've been following this channel for a while, you know that we've been following the U.S. women's national team in their fight for equal pay. Now, to keep a long story short, they went to court, said they weren't being paid equal to the men. Court came back and said, no, you're not being paid equal to the men. You're actually being paid more than the men. And the court threw out their lawsuit. Now, even with those realities, the women's national team still continued to lie to the press and pretend that they weren't getting paid more than the men, which the court documents showed they absolutely were. Now, the 2 main arguments against essentially giving the women extra money just
there's one black woman on the
were that the finances didn't make sense. For instance, the Men's World Cup brought in $5.36 billion. So obviously, the men are taking a cut of that $5.36 billion. While the Women's World Cup only brought in about $131 million.
You see the difference? $131 million compared to $5.36 billion. That is a huge difference. And they want the same pay when they're not generating the same revenue.
In $5.36 billion. So obviously the men are taking a cut of that $5.36 billion, while the Women's World Cup only brought in about $131 million. So the women were demanding equal pay, but only bringing in a fraction of what the men were bringing in at the World Cup. Then the second argument was that the competition level at the Women's World Cup was not the same level of competition as it was with the Men's World Cup. Here is former CNN host Don Lemon calling it out.
Men's tournament brings in more money, but when it comes to the U.S., I'd make the argument that the women's team is far more responsible for the boost in popularity.
All right, I would make the exact opposite argument. I know everyone's going to hate me.
Go ahead.
But the men's team makes more money. If they make more money, then they should get more money. The men's team makes more money because because people are more interested.
But guess who? But if they are blocked in so many ways and not invested in as much, they don't even have a. I know you're not, but they don't even have a shot.
Boy in a family of all women. I understand what you're saying, but not everybody, honestly, has the same skill. Not everybody has the same interest in the sport. I think the women should be paid more. I do. But if the men,
you're right that not everyone has the same skills because the women are better skilled.
Well, the women are better skilled against other women. But if the women played the men, they wouldn't be winning the way that they win.
So U.S. Soccer, even though they won the lawsuit, eventually caved and said, hey, we're going to give the women's national team all this extra money, even though they don't bring in as much money, and even though we know that the game is not as good as the men's game. That's just a fact. Now, the women's national...
You want to say something to that, Truth? You want to say something? You got nothing? Let me take my ride meals down.
What you said?
I'm going to look her up on Pornhub later. Now, I'm saying, you want to say anything about what they were talking about, the soccer team stuff so far?
I say, I'm listening. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Okay.
We're going to prove that assumption wrong. We're going to prove that we can play with the men. Now, a couple of years ago, the women's national team played against the FC Dallas under-15 boys squad and lost. They lost 5-2 to this team of under-15-year-old boys. So when they competed against not men but boys, they lost 5-2. Here's what CBS
you hear that
in preparation for.
You hear that they ain't even skilled enough to beat a bunch of teenagers that's under 15. So that means they 14, 13, and probably 12. 12 may be the minimum that they could play. They couldn't even beat them.
Wow. Okay.
The men. Now, a couple of years ago,
that's like the NBA team losing to a high school team. But that just goes to show you why women shouldn't be competing in men's sports. That's why it's unfair for these goddammit men turning into women going and competing again. Look, these boys just beat grown women in soccer. The women they got more experience, but the boys still have the lungs, the endurance, and all of that shit, even at 14.
So the women's national team played against the FC Dallas under-15 boys squad and lost. They lost 5-2 to this team of under-15-year-old boys. So when they competed against not men but boys, they lost 5-2. Here's what CBS reported. In preparation for two upcoming friendlies against Russia, the U.S. women's national team played the FC Dallas under-15 boys academy team on Sunday and fell 5-2. According to FC Dallas's official website. The friendly came as the U.S. looked to tune up before taking on Russia on Thursday night in a friendly. So the women's national team gets their butts kicked in by 15-year-old boys. Let me be clear, 15 and under-year-old boys. And now they're saying that they want to play with the men. Now, this is not a one-off occasion. For instance, the Australian women's national team, who's ranked number 5 in the world, they also lost to a group of 15-year-old boys. It was a little worse for them. They lost 7-0. Check this out.
Just further to the debate about whether the professional ladies football teams, the international ones, can beat men's teams. It's been sent a story here from the Evening Standard. This was 2 years ago. The Australian women's national team, who were ranked number 5 in the world at the time, lost 7-0 to a team of 15-year-old boys.
Awkward.
Now, before you start trying to cancel me, I'm not saying anything that's controversial. Men have physical advantages over women. That's why we segregate women's sports and men's sports. It's the simple fact. Here's an example for you. Let's look at a sport like running. The fastest woman to ever run 100 meters is Florence Johnson. She's also known as FloJo. And her time was 10 seconds, 0.49. And that was in 1998. The fastest woman ever to run that race. Where the fastest man, Usain Bolt, is at 9 seconds, 0.58. And he ran that in 2009. So now my question to you. Where do you think FloJo, the fastest woman ever to run the 100-meter dash, where she would rank amongst the men? So here is the official ranking for the 100 meters. And as you can see, FloJo is number one with her time of 10.49 seconds, the fastest woman ever in the history of the world to run 100 meters. So now here are the men's ranking. Usain Bolt, he's number one with his 9.58 seconds. If you just take FloJo's time and placed her on the men's chart, she would be tied for 7,090th place. Think about that. Over 7,000 men have run faster times than the fastest woman in the history of the sport. That is what we call the gender gap in sports. So with all of this knowledge, the U.S. women's national team...
That's why it's unfair for these men to say they women and get put into women's sports. It's unfair. I'm too loud. Wow. Are you choking on that popcorn? Don't tell me I'm too loud. What the hell?
This TST $1 million winner-take-all competition. Now, this is a 7-on-7 soccer series that allows you to get whatever team you want to get, enter the tournament, and if you win, you get $1 billion. Winner-take-all. And here are the teams that are playing. Now, in this tournament, you have former players from men's teams, former players from women's teams. You have them all here. But one thing is unique with the U.S. women's team. They are all female team. So they're saying we are going to win and we can compete in this tournament with mostly men with an all-women's team. Now, the U.S. women's team featured World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly, and it was coached by U.S. women's national team legend Mia Hamm. Now, the U.S. side featured many former U.S. women's national team players, some current players, and this was not the top women's national team. Remember, those are the ones that lost to the 15-year-old boys. But this was a team of some players who had some World Cup experience and were trying to have some international experience. So they entered the tournament with the goal of showing that this all-women's team can compete with all men's teams and maybe even win this tournament. So the first game was against the all-men's team of Say Word. And the women's team did what? They got 4 shots on goal, while the men's team got 18 shots on goal. And the women's national team lost 5-0. The men's team got more goals than the U.S. women's team got shots on goal. So they weren't even able to shoot 5 shots on goal, while the men's team actually made 5 shots on goal. Then game 2, the women's national team had to play against the Wrexham Red Dragons. This is a team owned by Ryan Reynolds. And they didn't hold back because they're playing for $1 million. So they handsomely defeated the women's national team by a score of 12-0. Now, again, in this game, the women's team only got 4 shots on goal, while the men's team got 31 shots on goal. So think about this. For this particular game, the women only got 4 attempts to make goals. 4, that's it. While the men's team scored 12 goals on 31 attempts. Matter of fact, they scored 1 out of every 3 shots. The men's team scored on 1 out of every 3 shots they took. Crazy. So then the women's team played the mixed team of Como 1907. Now, Como 1907 does have some women who are playing, but it's predominantly a men's team. Now, this time they only got 3 shots on goal, but they made one of them, while the men's team or the mixed team got 20 shots on goal. And that game ended 7-1. And think about this. The men's team in each one of these games scored more goals than the women's team even attempt to get shots on goal. So that means that in this game where they've got 7 goals, the women just were able to shoot only 3 shots on goal. So even if they made all their shots, they would have still lost by 4 goals. Now, in total, the women's team lost 24 goals to 1. Now, this was an utter embarrassment. I think this put to bed the fallacy that the soccer that men play and the soccer that women play are equal in the competitive sense. And this is why trans women or biological men are dominating in women's sports. See, men have an unfair advantage because men go through male puberty. This increases muscle density, strength, reaction time, lung capacity, and bone density. And the bottom line is men have these physical advantages over women, especially professional athletes, and they just can't be overcome by wishful thinking. So I want to throw the question to you. What do you think about this whole thing? Now, the women's team was utterly destroyed, but do you think the women's national team, their argument that they are just as good as the men's team, do you think that's based in reality, or is that just nonsense that they're speaking to try to, again, fool the public in thinking that they are just as good as the men's national team? Who do you think would win a scrimmage between the U.S. men's team and the U.S. women's team?
Because they lost to a group of 15-year-old boys.
All right, let's get into John Morant.
This last one is about John Morant. Of course, y'all know in the course of 2 months, he got caught with guns. Well, his team is now saying, oh, in that second video, that wasn't no real gun. You know what I'm saying? That was a toy gun. You know, we was in the car bumping that NBA young boy about that trap life sliding on niggas, and the dude from the back seat passed me a cap gun. It wasn't real, y'all. That's what his team is going with. Let's listen.
Gun set, I guess, the way his camp claims that Ja was. All right, let's get into John Morant, who must have had a toy gun set, I guess, the way his camp claims that Ja was holding a toy gun in that second video. Let's get into it. So John Morant, we know, been in the headlines for the past month due to his second Instagram Live gun scandal. That's just ignorant in its like your second gun scandal on IG Live. Like, that's how you gonna roll down? That's how you gonna lose hundreds of millions of dollars?
IG.
Ignorant. All right, so the NBA has already conducted this investigation and made a decision, though Adam Silver refused to reveal their findings until the season is officially over after the finals. So as we all wait to see what the NBA has to say about the controversy, a new rumor emerged pushing the narrative that the gun Morant flashed in the IG Live video was a fake. It was a fake gun on fake social media? Oh, that must make it real. All right. So the Breakfast Club host, Claudia Jordan, my dog, let me stop down. First of all, Claudia Jordan is the homie for like 20, 30 years. And all I remember is when she moved to LA, we were at Cedric Ceballos' pool party, which used to be epic in LA. Like half of them Dr. Dre videos back in the days looked like Cedric Ceballos' pool party, right? And I remember meeting her because, one, she fine as hell, and I was too young in the league. You know who was there too? I was hanging with Kobe Bryant at that time because he was a young hotshot, and I just got drafted. And I remember saying, damn, she's beautiful. Goodness. So I came up to her because I was in no space to act like I was really focused. So she just was like, I see you coming, brother. Anyway, long story short, that was like her second day in LA ever. And I remember we just kicked it forever, man. And good luck to her at the Breakfast Club and hosting all that and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, she's the one who made this revelation. Just had to give her stripes. Note that her sources shared that Morant's camp was allegedly claiming that the firearm everyone saw in the video was a toy gun. Okay, so Morant's camp even reportedly sent it to Silver and the league office to push their stance that Morant shouldn't be punished for it, though to no avail. Jordan went on to claim that the league is set to slap the Grizzlies youngster with a 30-game suspension. Okay.
And to me, that's still light. I think he should miss half the season because he did dumbass shit 2 months in a row.
I've said 41 games. I thought half the season.
And if 30, are they going to count the damn preseason? And that preseason is like 17 to 20 games.
30 sounds random. 41 is random, except it's just half the season. And 8 games certainly was random the first time. So she says, quote, Adam Silver is still going to go through with the suspension, looking like it should be 30 games, even though the NBA knows it was a toy gun. Well, they may know it was a toy gun, but this situation is hella real. And sponsors and brands and the brand of the NBA as a whole takes a hit.
What grown men are riding around 4 deep with a toy gun? And you was just in the club with a real one? Come on now. Stop playing with these people's intelligence.
even if you are out there trying to fake it, John Morant. So for what it's worth, the other hosts of the Breakfast Club, they weren't buying the fake gun talk, right? Charlamagne, the God, gotta say the God, I don't even know that's the homie, couldn't help but say that it's a lame excuse. Check, duh. He noted that if it's a toy gun, right, from the start, if you know it's that, his camp should have said it in the beginning. Also questioned why John Morant needed to issue an apology. Thank you. If it's a fake gun, why is your boy, first of all, dropping the phone if it's a fake gun? Second of all, if it's a fake gun, he dropped the phone, picked the phone back up, and just laughed at the fake gun. Say, oh, we're just making light of what happened before. Nobody was thinking that way because none of that was real in that moment. It was a real gun. That's what I think. So anyway, then why you issue an apology? You got time and time between the fake gun incident that you don't even know the reaction yet, and you could have said anything. You didn't. You waited till the backlash got too much. You started to lose your endorsements like Nike, etc., and then all of a sudden,
you technically didn't lose the Nike endorsement. It was a publicity stunt with Nike taking the shit off their website because they did launch them, and them motherfuckers sold out in like 20-some minutes.
Issue an apology. Was that a fake apology, like that was a fake gun? Or was that a real apology about a fake gun? Or was it a real apology about a real gun? Y'all see how fake this sounds? Crazy, right? So DJ Envy also made an argument why he has doubts that Morant's gun was a fake, saying it should have been an orange tip gun if it was a toy gun. That is true, but not 100% true. I remember growing up, there used to be a lot of these shootings. I don't hear about them as much as I used to. Not saying they still don't happen, but growing up, my family was petrified, scared, terrified of us playing with any type of gun. I'm talking about a video.
Boys too, and it still happens. Tamir Rice was killed by the police where he was for pointing a gun, allegedly.
And gun.
I mean, a fake gun.
Come on, duck hunt. We couldn't even play with duck hunt. You used to see cats rip the wire off the duck hunt and walking around in the gun in the neighborhood before. Not my family. My daddy never. I mean, even the little itty bitty one that was orange, they'll go pant, pant, pant. My daddy was like, no, sir. Living in Compton, living off Slauson, hell no. Police come by here or somebody think that's real, you gone. And what you gonna say on your obituary? It wasn't real or something. So made no sense, but they all don't have that orange tip. You know that. BB guns especially. So Morant's camp, his camp has yet to address these latest rumors. Nonetheless, it's unlikely fans will know the truth until the NBA makes its official announcement and decision. And only thing that's evident right now is that Morant is getting suspended, and that is real, not fake. Now, here's the thing. If this was really a fake gun, I thought it was bad before how dumb this was for this guy to, hey, take this type of hit.
Either way it go, he don't look good.
To his brand, to the keys to the NBA that they were dangling right in front of his face. But if he's now going to try and hide behind a stance of that was fake the second time, that's more ignorant because it was already flippant to have a real gun the first time. But that's okay. It's your Second Amendment rights, but you're still looking irresponsible even though nothing's illegal. But the second time, if it's real, dumb. But if it's fake and you're going to get real consequences, you imagine going to jail for something that you didn't even really do. You did something that was fake and you in jail, you got real punishment for something fake. You made this situation worse. I hope this was just a rumor by the homie Claudia. If not, woo, John Morant. I don't know how much.
That's not a rumor. That's the official statement his PR team gave to the NBA and release. And that's it for the strange news stories. Truth, you got anything? Truth! Truth! You gonna tell E. Brooks, hey?
Yes, sir.
Truth said what you want. You got anything? What you going live?
If I do, it'll be later. I'm tired.
Say hey, Truth.
You can't be tired, Truth.
I am, baby. I am.
You can't be tired, Truth.
Wait, that's the same.
Yeah, that's Truth over there to the right, and I'm to the left, but we got the same icon.
Hey, Daddy.
No, your friend ain't in the chat.
I need to go into the chat right now.
Oh,
Come
you
in the
can't
chat
make
right
her pop
now.
up in the chat. Anywho, I'm about to eat. What we finna do?
Some chips.
Eat some chips? That's all you want to do is eat chips?
Maybe wait. I have a bad dream.
What you have a bad dream about?
I have a bad dream. Somebody ripped some noodles.
Somebody what your noodles?
Ripping them apart.
Somebody ripped your noodles apart and that was a bad dream?
Yeah, that was bad.
Last time somebody somebody's drained house and that didn't recognize.
Oh. Tell everybody bye-bye.
Hello.
No, that's not
Bye.
hello.
Have a good day.
There go your friend. She said she in the chat. You see her? Who it did?
E-books. Hey, E-books.
She said, hey, bet. All right, y'all, we out. I don't know how she was able to pick her name out in the chat because she can't read unless she can, but you see that. I said, who is that? And there's a whole bunch of names in there. And she said one. Oh, yes, hearts. Silas gave you some hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. I love candy.
You love candy? You sure do. Well, all right, y'all. We are out.
Bye, y'all. Bye-bye, Teddy.
Hello. I love you, Daddy.
Love you, too.
Nobody can tell the Daddy.
What?
I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of those. Sean Johns and polos. You say you rockin' Jordans. I even got a lot of those. I say I got a lot of hoes. White girls, Latinos. I even got them Asian ones from the Filipinos. I smoke a lot of Greeno. Got money like casino. I got a lot of ones and I got a lot of Cino. I got a lot of swag. I'm something like a hero. I got a lot of haters. They mad just like Neo. I got a major client all the time. I'm in beast mode. I got a lot of spots. Ain't no telling why I sleep though. I got a lot of heat though, but not a lot of beef though. Cause all you heard is switch. I'm shooting like a free throw. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. I got me a lot of clothes. I got me a lot of this. I got me a lot of those. I got me a lot of hoes. Hoes all around the bed and dark in that dark. Yeah, all she wanna do is spin. Booty bouncing up and down just like a tennis ball. Say she bought my CD from a nigga at the Raleigh Mall. I don't rock no Louis bag. I just rock that gangsta shit. Get money from my college brand. Kick you with my gangsta beat. I got me a lot of clothes. Backers call me UPS. Look into my closet, bet you see a couple hundred sets. Don't believe me, wanna bet 5 or 9, 6 or 8. Corn blade, color bit, same color Lisa Ray. I got me a lot of dough in my pocket, fuck a spaz. I got me a lot of hoes, shaped up like an hourglass. I got me a lot